Here we go again. I got paid a few days ago. Mind you, not last month, not last week, but a few days ago. And for somehow, when I looked at my bank account, most of my money was already gone. Maybe you've been there too. You know, you get paid and for a few hours you feel relieved. You feel like you finally can breathe. And then these damn bills hit. You know, the gas tank needs to fill. And then something unexpectedly comes up. And before you know it, you're staring at your account and you're wondering where all your money went. And it's not because you bought anything crazy or you went on a shopping spree. It's just life. And if this sounds like you, this video probably gonna hit a little different. And for a long time, I thought the answer was making more money. I thought if I got a better job, everything would change. You know, I spent 8 years in the military, then I became a correctional officer, and you know, now I'm a police officer now. And every move was supposed to be an upgrade. You know, better benefits, better pay, more stability. And don't get me wrong, the income increased, but something else happened. My expenses increased too. And somehow that feeling of being stuck never completely went away. I remember looking at my account after paying everything that needed to be paid, and still wondering where the hell all my money went to, you know? I'm like, how is this even possible? You know, I show up, I do what I need to do, but for some reason I feel like I'm barely getting ahead, right? And maybe you ask yourself the same question. Maybe you're working hard every single day and you spin your tires in the mud. You know, and the harder you press on the gas and feel like the deeper you sink. And that's exactly how I felt, because I'm like, why am I showing up for these guys and ladies every single damn day for somebody who don't even care about me? They don't care about my health. They don't care about my well-being. They don't care about what I got going on outside of the work. All they care about is meeting that quota or whatever I need to be assigned for that day. You know, and I'm tired of it. Something got to change. And lately, I feel like things are getting worse. Every time I look at the news, you know, prices seem higher. Same thing with the groceries and insurance. It seems like everything costs more. You know, and meanwhile, you got people out here that aren't getting huge raises. So even when they do get paid, it doesn't even seem like progress. You know, it feels like survival. You're not building and you're not recovering, and then you do it all over again 2 weeks later. Now here's the part I had to be honest with myself about. You know, the problem wasn't the economy. The problem wasn't inflation or my paycheck. You know, most of the problem, you ready? It was me. That wasn't easy to admit, because it's easier to blame everything else around us. But I had to accept the fact that every dollar had a job. Except I wasn't given enough of those dollars a job to help my future. Most of my money was being spent on today. Very little was being built for tomorrow. And that realization changed everything. That's when I started looking for another way, you know. Not a get-rich scheme, not a magic investment, not a lottery ticket. I started looking for a way to stop relying completely on a paycheck. Because the truth is this, a paycheck can disappear, you know, a company can replace you, a job can end, you know, life changes. And I didn't like the idea of my entire future being dependent on one source of income. And that's what eventually led me towards dividend investing. You know, not because I thought it would make me rich overnight, but because it gave me something I could never have before. A plan, an escape route, and a direction. Let me ask you a question. If you got paid tomorrow, right, would that money move you closer to your freedom? Or would it disappear doing exactly what last month's paycheck did? That's a hard question to ask yourself, And that's the same question I ask myself. But it's one worth asking because that question forced me to look at my own habits differently. Today, I'm still working. I'm still showing up to my job. I'm not pretending I got this all figured out. But I am paying myself first now. I invest before I spend. I think long term before I think short term. And every month I buy assets that I hope will produce income for me for the years to come. So the goal isn't to get rich next week. The goal is to stop being completely dependent on a paycheck forever. This week, I want you to do something simple, right? The next time you get paid, don't just ask yourself where your money went. Ask yourself where your money is going. Those are two different questions because one focuses on the past, the other one focuses on your future. And that shift in thinking might change more than you realize. In the next video, I want to talk about the biggest money lie that I believed for years, right? A lie that kept me stuck much longer than I need to be. Because once I finally stopped believing it, my entire perspective on money changed. And real quick, if you're enjoying these conversations about money, discipline, and life, and you're trying to become financially free, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and it honestly helped push the video through the YouTube algorithm. Now let's get back into it. And if you're trying to fix your money for real, follow this channel. I'm documenting the whole process. Well, that's it for this episode. Fix your mind, fix your money, fix your life. I'll catch y'all in the next one.